Hi, this is Troy from Full-Gamut Defense Arts with Joe from Ninja Tank Martial Arts with me here. And we wanted to kind of talk about body mechanics, just in general, and how physics and geometry really dictate, I don't know if that's quite the right word I'm looking for, but they dictate how you do your techniques. And if you are ignoring the physics and geometry of your technique, that's where you're going wrong. You're getting weak technique, or your techniques aren't working at all. So, for example, I recently saw a video, and there was a little bit of an argument online about this. If Joe grabs me with both hands, and of course this is not really a real world scenario anymore, but the premise was, if I come up on the inside and try to pry his arms apart, I can't do it. I'm straining. But I can come here and just peel his hands off.
A real world application of that that's no different is I'm a Muay Thai guy originally, right, everybody? Okay, Muay Thai, right? He doesn't want to try to go this direction,
right?
You know,
right? So, but I can't come this direction either, right? So then I'm actually going to come here.
He just pushes that off and goes. So
right.
Yep.
So I'm turning it into a circle there. So, but how does this work? That I can't. Why is it that I can't do this, but I can do this very easily?
Yeah.
It is. It's not a trick. It's not bullshido.
Right.
It's real life, and it comes down to the way our muscles work, the structure of our bodies, which is geometry, right? And then the physics behind that. So your back, unless he was Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, and I'm me now, old and decrepit, his back is not going to be as strong as my chest. That is just a fact of how our muscles work.
So, I have to say one thing before he continues. He's not old and decrepit. I felt his punches. I just want to say that.
Thank you. Yes. but so his back can't compete with my chest if I'm doing this.
No, exactly.
The same thing applies if I'm coming up the inside. Now I'm using my back against his chest. Right? I have to change it up. I either have to come in or I have to go up and down to change the direction. Right? And that, again, is using geometry and physics. Okay? I don't know all the terms to properly explain the physics. But so if somebody sees this as a physicist, please chime in. Tell me. If you're an engineer, explain the geometry of it. Because you're going to do a better job than I do. I just want to point out that these things are geometry and physics. It comes down to the angle. So, okay, here's another example. Okay, just trying to. I have a good example. Okay, you've heard of the unbendable arm.
Yes, we have in Aikido.
Right. Everybody, just about everybody has it. Okay, so do you want to do the unbendable arm?
Yes. Can I switch real quick?
Yeah. So give me just muscle first.
Okay, I'm going to give muscle.
Just giving me muscle, and I'm just going to try to bend.
Yeah, and these
right.
In our traditional ways. Sorry, here. On the bicep, and then this folds.
Right.
So toward. Okay. So you have here on the bicep, and then he's going to fold. So let me try to do strength. Can't do it.
Okay. But now when he does the unbendable arm, okay.
Now I will say there is a level of that, and then there's a level of spiritual, which we won't get into, of energy flow.
Yes.
But you can't have good energy flow without geometry and physics. You can't have energy.
You're stronger than me. Wow. You're physically stronger than me. I know that. So I'm going to do the other.
Yes.
Okay. So strength.
So here we are, strength, and I'm just folding it.
Okay.
Not gonna happen.
You'll get there eventually.
Yeah, you see him.
He was getting it, but you see, I'm not here. If it's strength, you can see I'm not hamming this up.
Yeah.
I'm not hamming it up. It hurts.
Yeah. Just wrenching it now.
But now if I go
No, I can feel it. It's just,
right?
yeah.
And that is partly physics as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, so and that comes down to the muscles and how they work, right? So you notice when I'm doing strength, I'm coming all the way out here. I'm locking my arm out. Why? Because it's the triceps.
We even have this cheating move everybody here to make it a little more difficult.
Yeah.
Using also physics.
Yeah. He's using his shoulder as a fulcrum.
Yep.
Right? So, but I'm using just the triceps. Now, fully extended, my arm locked out like that, my triceps is completely contracted. So it's at its strongest point, but it has nowhere to go either. Okay, so go ahead. It's right? Okay, but now you notice when I'm doing the unbendable arm, and he did the same thing, I'm not locking out. No, I'm coming into here. Okay, and I'll tell you why.
It's completely different. Yeah, I'm able to maybe buckle it a little bit, but I can't get it.
Yeah, so our muscles work best, and I know I'm kind of getting off the topic I wanted to do, but this is a good subject too. Our muscles are actually better in the mid-range of their extension. See, muscles only contract. It takes an opposite muscle to extend it. And in that mid-range of both of them being contracted, that's where we're actually at our strongest. Which is why certain techniques, like we were talking about earlier, with the part of the grip for a katana, part of the reason you're extending this, among other things, is that you're not overextending and stretching the muscles in the hand and in the arm and across the wrist. You're actually giving yourself a stronger grip because you're not using every muscle to its full contraction.
Yes. Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, did you have anything you wanted to kind of throw in there?
Well, with geometry and angles, I don't think you can find anything more important in martial arts. This is where you start to get into the level of mastery, if there's such a thing. We're here squared off, and I know that I want to come over here to get our angle.
He's angling off, yeah.
Because what do I have here? What do I have here? Now, look at Troy's reach here. Look at my reach here. Look at my reach here. Look at the angle. And that's the arm that he's not, there's no chance for that. But there's also angling in here different ways. Triangulating and angling off. If you're just going to look at martial arts from a crude one direction this way, direction backwards, you're going to miss a lot of it.
Yeah.
The angles and the circular motion and these things all have so many things in common with circular motion, angular movement.
Absolutely.
And the strikes all have a level of that as well when we're going to look at different strikes and different throws and joint locks, things like that. But when we have different joint locks like arm bars, right, we're using the physics. I'm going to rotate you around here. For like a Kimura, we're using just levels of physics and angles, and I'm using my whole body together, and I'm making a fulcrum here.
Yeah.
Okay? For your Kimura lock.
Fulcrums and levers.
Fulcrums and levers, absolutely. When you're seeing a lot of jiu-jitsu techniques, that's really what you're going down to, is where the opponent's weight is, and how you can use a fulcrum to flip them or get a different arm lock or choke or whatever.
Right. And going back to this lock that we were doing earlier, okay, this is really my fulcrum, okay? And that can be a difficult thing to get across to people, is that I'm not trying to bring my wrist up. He can stop that. I rotate around my own wrist, okay?
Yeah.
So that becomes the fulcrum. So you have to, so that's part of martial arts too, is understanding where your fulcrum is. It's not always where you think. This is where my arm attaches to my body, but that can't always be my fulcrum.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just another thing for you to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And why your footwork is very precise as far as the angles. You know, Filipino martial arts has the male and female triangles that they use, where they're here, right? Okay, forward triangle, that's the male triangle, and they'll have here, they may do footwork like this from the point. This is the female triangle, right? All of those things are very important because they're teaching you those proper angles for angling off of your opponent, like Joe was talking about.
Yeah, and he just tripped me out. He was just showing me that footwork. I also did 20 years of capoeira, guys, and here is the Jenga, which is our basic technique for all of our movement. This is the Jenga, and it just translates to swing. But look at the footwork compared to what you were just showing.
It's a
Guy
giant
stepping up. Yep, exactly. That's awesome.
Cool. I haven't done anything else, so thank you.
That's awesome.